Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Ditzy Crafts. Hope you're all having an awesome day. It's officially spooky season, so I'm going to be showing you how I turned nasty cheap pumpkins, the plastic kind you get in Home Bargains, into these. And if you'd like to see more spooky crafts, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get cracked on then, shall we? Okay, so we're starting off with these cheap, nasty pumpkins that I got from Home Bargains. They were about £4 or £5 each, and as you can see, they've got a wee light in them, which will come in handy later. I was hoping I could take the underneath off, but as you can see later on, I wasn't able to do that, so I've just had to paint around it. But yeah, just cheap, ordinary pumpkins. Next we have this Drylok waterproofer, concrete and masonry stuff. I'm going to be honest, I don't fully know what this stuff does besides obviously making it waterproof, because we are wanting these outside. So I did my first coat, as you can see here, just used a brush. The texture of this stuff, it's quite weird. It's kind of got a grainy sort of, I suppose it's to mimic concrete, I guess. On to coat number 2. As you can see, I've got my gloves on. I preferred to start at the bottom and work my way up. You can see this stuff's it's a little bit runny. Just watch with that. What I found is you slab it on and it will start to run. So I did have to go back over just to catch any drips. But I don't know, maybe you kind of like that vibe. Adds a little bit more texture. Depending on the look that you want to go for as well, I would just watch around the mouth, the nose and the eyes, because again, it will tend to collect in these areas. So it depends how clean that you want to have those lines. I personally wanted to keep them as clean as I possibly could, so I just went back round after I was done and just cleaned it up with the same brush. I mean, there's no point in dirtying another brush, is there now? I just want to point out that this Drylok stuff that I've put on, I've only gone for that because I was actually following another tutorial by another creator called the Navage Patch on TikTok. I did try to see if he had a YouTube channel so I could give him a wee credit, but I'm not seeming to find one. So I will link his TikTok in the description below. But basically, this Drylok stuff, it's not exactly the cheapest of things. It was just under, I would say, about 50 quid that I got it for. You might be able to find a cheaper substitute, maybe on Amazon or another kind of online store. But again, as I said earlier on, I'm not 100% sure what this stuff is, if I'm honest. So I just went with exactly what he had used in his tutorial. But yeah, please go and check him out. Link in the description. His tutorials that he does on TikTok some of them are just amazing. I do want to point out that this Drylok coat stuff that I've got, if you look at the tin, it will say to leave 3 to 4 hours to dry in between coats. I found that didn't really work for me personally, because it was still a little bit kind of tacky and it was moving some of the little splodgy bits that I'd got on there. I don't know, that's probably something to do with me doing it too thick. The coats, you're maybe meant to do them thinner. But I decided to go for 24 hours in between, just so they were nice and dry. And I didn't get any of that sort of shifting that you were getting. And you've got a good base before you go to paint. Next, what you're going to need to get ready, are 2 spray bottles. They can be plastic, glass, whatever. And you need to get yourself black and white acrylic paint. What we're going to be doing is doing a mix in each bottle, one for black paint and one for white paint. And you want to top that up with water. You want a consistency roughly, I would say, about 50-50 to water. You can go all out and do the measuring and whatnot, but I just did it by eye because I am quite slapdash with things. But yeah, you want to have that ready. And once you've got that mixture into those bottles, make sure the top is on very tight. Um, you will see why that is important in a little bit. But yeah, make sure that top is on tight, tight, tight. So there we have coat number 2 finished, folks. And we're just going to leave these overnight to dry and see how we get on. I'm really hoping this is going to have added a little bit more weight onto these because I do want them outside and it's hella windy in Scotland. Pumpkins are dry and it's down to paint. Remember when I said to screw the top on properly? This is why. Oh, Jesus. And yep, just rubbing it in, making it worse. I'd also advise at this point not to be wearing your work clothes. Change into something that you don't mind getting dirty. Don't really know why I've gone and done that. A bit stupid. But as you can see, I am just spraying on our paint mixture. The first layer, don't worry about getting it perfect. As you can see, I'm just chugging it on, chugging it on. When I went back and looked at the original tutorial, what he's basically saying is to layer the black and the white over each other. So when I first did this round that you're seeing here, I waited a bit for the black to kind of dry and then tried to layer the white on. It wasn't until I did it a second time that I thought, right, I'm just going to try and do the white over the black while it's still wet. And I definitely say that that gave a better look to the sort of overall outcome of what I was trying to achieve. So, don't get too hung up on how perfect it's looking. You can always go back over and layer. The great thing with acrylic paint is it's pretty pigmented, so it hides a multitude of sins. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's a bit fun at the end of the day. Upon reflection on this video, I think I might need to actually change the angle of my camera in future. Bloody hell, that's some stellar shots of that chins you've got there, Hayley. Ooh, that is savage. Spooky season is my absolute favourite time of year. And this year, I've decided that we're going to try and celebrate it a little bit more with your old traditions. There's a lot of debate online on how to actually pronounce the Celtic/pagan version of the word. I will be going with Samhain. Samhain. That's what we'll be going for. There's Samhain, a few different ones, but Samhain is what we will be celebrating this year. Samhain basically means the end of summer, end of the harvest, signalling the start of winter, which was associated with death for them. The Celts also believed that on this particular day, on the 31st of October, the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest, allowing the spirits of the dead to visit the living. It's also considered by some as almost like their New Year. So I thought this would be a great one to start with, as I will be celebrating all 8 festivals throughout the year. So if that's something you'd like to see, give me a wee subscribe and a wee like, and I will be posting more content on that. Now back to our pumpkins. Little thing I should have mentioned, gloves. Look at the state of that. Ugh. Pumpkins all painted, coat number 1 done. So you can see here that I've just gone over and resprayed with the watered down white. You can get a good wee look. And this is like when I've actually done it wet. So do you see how it starts to kind of separate and go a little bit of a different texture? I personally prefer this finish myself. But like I said, you can just build up and see how you get on. Have a little play around with it. Now, the downside to using watered down acrylic paint is it takes forever to dry. So thankfully, we had some unusually hot weather at the end of September. So these are the guys just chilling. And here's the finished result. This is them at my front doorstep, looking pretty good. And I will get a little video of them all lit up. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay up too late because I'm old. So as you can see, it's still in the daytime. I'm pretty chuffed with them. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Bye!